And now, live from Isolation Station in Burbank, California, it's The Plague, week 37 of the Alison Rosen is Your New Best Friend show. Tonight, Alison welcomes her guests. He's a comedian, podcaster, Ellen shamerer, and cream fluencer. It's Kevin T. Porter. And he's a writer, comedian, single back flipper, car roof dancer, and 21st Night of Septemberer. It's Demi Adejuyigbe. Cone Zone is here to show us the very best way to prepare your space frog eggs for Thanksgiving. I'm her husband, Daniel, saying hop on board Love Bus, say hello to your best friend, Alison Rosen.
Alison Rosen. Alison Rosen is your new best friend. Alison with her the good times never end. Alison Rosen, doing the wavy pencil dance again. Alison Rosen. Alison's your new best friend.
Hello, my little jams. Welcome to another exciting episode of Alison Rosen is Your New Best Friend. It's actually a Thanksgiving episode, or as one of the guests who I will introduce shortly suggested, a Thanks Misgivings episode. Jams, that particular carbohydrate, that's a traditional Mennonite Christmas cookie, and that was sent in on Patreon by Ariana Bisky, and she also claimed that they're like the best cookie ever, and I chose it specifically because Kevin, who has a rich, storied history with religion, is on, but I'm getting ahead of myself. All sorts of fun stuff on Patreon. You can submit carbs. You can watch the video of this very episode, and you can see me in a very uncharacteristically colorful, and stylistically, it's different than what I normally. I'm wearing a blouse. It's got a bow. I feel like a social worker or like a librarian, but yeah, I don't know. It's very much not me. I don't know if I'm going to keep it or not. Although I am wearing it now. What's wrong with me? Anyway, I would like to say hello. Oh yeah, patreon.com/Alison Rosen. Go there. I'd like to say hello to my guests. We've got a dynamic assortment of people today. It's a team that you love, and Tony. Hello, Kevin Porter.
Oh, wow. Hi. Good to
Welcome.
be back. Remember in March when I was on and you said, how long is this going to be? I said December. And you were like, no way. And I was lowballing it.
Distinctly remember that because Daniel brings that up a lot, because he'll be like, remember when Kevin said that in December we'd still be in our homes?
I think about it a lot
insane. Yeah. Wait, do you remember specifically saying that, or do you remember my reaction to it?
I remember specifically saying it.
Yeah.
The T in Kevin T. Porter stands for Trinostradamus. Yeah.
Truth and Trinostradamus.
Yeah, that's right.
Tradamus. Demi Adejuyigbe. Hello.
Did he specify what year?
No, that's the thing.
Ooh.
That's the thing. I did not specify the year. I did think.
All right, Christmas 2021 will all be out of our homes.
Yeah,
And
hopefully.
back when the T for Nostradamus was making those kind of predictions, Demi was saying that he doesn't like to do podcasts over Zoom, which I relate to so intensely.
That is very true.
Little did he know there was going to be no other option.
Yeah. Oh, well.
You know what I do wonder is, because at this point, for the most part, it feels like this just feels normal. But I do think empirically, and I don't know what empirically means, but let's just pretend we do. I do think connecting remotely is not the same as being in person. But what if we're all just so used to it, we've just accepted that all podcasts have dropped a little bit in quality?
I think that's probably it. And I also wonder if, like, listenership has dropped across the board because people aren't, like, having commutes anymore, or if it's like, no, people are just finding other ways to listen to podcasts. I know that, like, for me, I am listening to, I already only listen to like 2 podcasts, and now I'm just like, oh, it's down to 0 because I'm not driving anywhere.
Right.
But I feel like, yeah, it's weird how podcasting has sort of acclimated to this in a way that it's like, oh, it's still fine, but it still feels like across the board things have just gotten harder, even though we're all used to it by now.
And those 2 podcasts, Demi, are Joe Rogan and Barstool Sports?
That's right. Sometimes simultaneously.
Good to know. Yeah, so you can get more info at the same time.
Demi,
Yes.
how do you feel, if you're a Barstool fan, how do you feel about what happened between, I know. I just want to see what he says, Alex and Sophia of the Call Her Daddy podcast?
I don't know what that is or who those people are, but I wish them well, what I'll say.
Let's bring in Tony. Hello, Tony.
Hi. I often think about Kevin saying that as well, but in my memory, I remember him saying November, but I also could very well be remembering it wrong.
Maybe I'm remembering it wrong.
But also basically the same thing.
No,
I
November.
specifically remember December.
If only
Because
there
it
was a
sounded so
recording
much
of it.
worse.
There's no way to find out
No.
for sure. There's no way.
Yeah, we'll just have to guess. The funny thing is, as much as the joke is there is a recording of it, such a reluctance to go back and listen to anything ever. Do you guys have that?
Yeah. Of course.
I don't go back in time on anything. Not interested.
Why is that though? I mean, there's usually so much information if you do go back.
For what? What are we talking about in particular? Like hearing the stuff we've recorded before?
Yeah, just anything. Like, I recently did an episode of my podcast and I had I made a rule with myself a long time ago that if I have a negative feeling about a show that I did, I need to listen to it before adhering to that opinion, because oftentimes my emotions my feeling, my impression about something is not accurate. And then I go back and listen. I'm like, oh, it was totally fine. It didn't sound stilted or it didn't sound awkward or whatever I felt. And I recently did an episode, and then afterwards it like sent me on a whole like deep, dark downward spiral of feeling. I don't really even know why. I was like, I'm worthless. I've accomplished nothing. I'm a weird random lady asking famous people questions I had a real dark night of the soul. I really think it had to do with quarantine and the point at which we're in quarantine way more than this interview. And then I went back and listened to it. I'm like, oh no, this was actually a really strong interview.
I think we're our own worst critics, but also we have such a hyper focus on everything that we're doing at any given time that it's kind of hard to, I think one of the reasons I don't go back is because I'm always just sort of like, well, if I go back, there's no way I'm going to go, oh yeah, I killed that. It's just going to be like there's no way it's going to be better than what I'm thinking. So I'm always just sort of like, I can't do anything. It's out in the world. Let other people decide. And then it's like, at worst, people will then come up to me and go like, oh, this thing was bad. And then I can be like, yeah, I agree. But at best, it's always just like, no one's ever as focused on these things as you are. So it feels just like, why bother going back and examining it?
It feels like the equivalent of looking at old pictures of yourself in high school or college, where it's like, I don't hate myself, but I wouldn't dress that way again. And it's okay to not stare at myself in circa 2008 anymore.
I believe in growth too much to dwell on the past and go like, oh, if only I'd done this thing differently.
Mm-hmm. But while we're at it, let's go around and say one thing we regret about 2020.
Starting the coronavirus.
That was you?
It was a prank at first.
Oh, man. You've been hanging out with Clooney too much. George Clooney, that is.
I regret...
Oh, we're doing this. Okay.
Yeah.
I did this last night, Demi.
Oh.
I regret starting the whole Q thing. That also was a prank that got out of control.
That was you.
Pranks get out of hand.
Man. Oh, gosh.
Yeah. What about you guys?
I regret making the film Cuties on Netflix because of you.
And Tony regrets marketing it that way.
Yeah, that's right.
Thank you.
Yeah. What did you guys think you were doing? Like, what were you... What was the feeling at the time when
we just wanted to be edgy? We just wanted to make a point. I don't know. I'm French. It's just what I'm into.
And Tony, when you were marketing it, was it like just another job, or did you believe in it?
Yeah, that's the thing. It's just kind of been phoning in most, as you know, Alison. I've kind of phoned in most of my work this year. So,
like the kissing booth too. I wasn't even aware of until it popped up on my little queue. Not UQ, another Q, Netflix Q.
Oh, yeah, I did. I sat up.
Netflix Q. Netflix Q.
It's an unfortunate coincidence. My team and I.
We're layers deep in this bit. I don't know where we are.
Excuse me.
Okay, so let me ask you guys a question, and then I want to hear about you guys, because though this is Alison Rosen's your best friend. I don't want it to be exclusively Alison Rosen-ish. But, and I don't even know if I'm supposed to talk about this or not, but no one said not to. I received communication on Instagram, and it went into my folder that I don't normally look at. So you know that this, like, I figured that this is a scam. This is some kind of bullshit. But it actually was, I believe, a legit message from someone who's casting a reality show, or like not even exactly a reality show. It's a series that's like related to one of the big reality show franchises. And she likes my look and she thinks I might be right to like take part in this. And I'm unclear whether it would be, if I were selected, if I go forward with it, whether it's like I would be in one episode would focus on me and possibly my family, or it would be like the whole series has kind of follows people throughout the series. Now, it happens to coincide with a time of my life spurred by that like dark night of the soul I had, where I'm like, what is the point of anything? Where I'm like, I need to reinvent. I need like, what's my next thing to get excited about? I've just been in like mommy mode for a few years. And like, I feel like a lot of people in quarantine right now are just like, how can I shake it up? Like, I'm getting tired of pacing and like doing the same circle with my life. So anyway, it happens to come at a time where I'm like, give me a sign. And then this came in and I'm like, fuck, maybe I should do it. But then the other half of me goes, you know how reality shows are. I'm not going to like how I'm portrayed. I'm not going to be in control of how I'm portrayed. Is it worth it for whatever kind of boost I could conceivably get? By the way, they sent me a further email about it. And then if I'm interested, I have to like respond. And then I set up an audition over Zoom. And so it's like, I'm really jumping the gun and even thinking that that this might be I'm like probably one of 1,000 bazillion people. But anyway, what would you guys do if you got something like this?
I don't know. Well, I feel like it's almost different now than it was a couple years ago. You know how the 90s felt so, the discourse about authenticity felt so sort of reduced down to these terms of like selling out or not selling out.
Totally.
You're authentic if you don't do this thing, or like, no, you have to protect your whatever they called your brand at the time. But now in 2020s, I don't know how much that exists. When Ana de Armas is doing the same vitamin water partnerships that an influencer I've never heard of is too. I don't know what the difference is with like going on a reality show versus like I don't know what you're sacrificing in that sense. I truly don't know.
I am Gen X too. So I was in a punk band. So I come from the school that you're talking about of like, you don't sell out and it's important. I've left all that behind. My question is more like, let's say I talk about my podcast on the show, which of course I would try to. And then like, what if I hate how it gets portrayed and how I'm portrayed, you know?
Well, I think the two things that I'm feeling about this are like, if it's like a reinvention or like a purpose you're looking for, I don't think you're going to feel as satisfied if that purpose is coming from someone else, because it's something you're not going to be in control of. And it's also just going to feel like eventually you're like, oh, am I just globbing onto this thing that's not mine? Am I less fulfilled by this than I am by my podcast? And is this going to take over you and your ability to do your podcast? And then the other thing, I think is that like, I think that's a big thing, but now I've forgotten what my other point was. I think about just the fact that like, yeah, I don't know. I think if it's a reinvention you're looking for, you kind of have to make your own. You can't.
Right. I should generate it myself.
Be able to control the way they're going to portray it. And even if they portray it in the best light, it's just going to become this new thing of your personality that, like, as much as you don't like going back and listening to things that you've done before, it's like, okay, well, here is now an entire new venue for which so many people will only, like, this is the only way they're going to know you. And it's just like, okay, well, do you want that part of your image to be completely up to someone else?
Right. Oh, that's such a good point. That's such a good point.
Demi had a word. He spoke it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, reinvention stuff. It is hard to like, if the whole thing is Alison 2.0, to submit that and give that over to a TV show that maybe doesn't have your best interest at heart.
Tony, what do you
The
think?
vehicle for that.
Yeah, I think it does not sound appealing to me. I would not do it if I was you. This is not really a thing I've talked about often. And
Ooh,
I
play
think
a drop.
Enough time has passed that I probably can.
My wife. Sorry.
That's okay.
I, as a part of Motion City Soundtrack, there was actually a reality show that we were basically offered at one point, and it seemed very strange to me, and I was the one person in the band that kind of had zero interest in doing it. To the point that like I felt so strongly about it that I was if things had proceeded further, I was already in my head like, I don't think I can do this. I think I would have to quit.
Oh wow.
It just was like, it just doesn't, it's not appealing to me, because this would have been a thing like where it was almost like the real world, but then making an album. I'll just say it. The show ended up still happening, and I don't think anybody watched it. It was an MTV thing called Band in the Bubble. And
Band in the Bubble?
Yeah.
Never heard that in my life.
Yeah, it was like 2007, I think. But yeah, thankfully, in the end, like when things were kind of looking like it might happen, then there were some factors of the deal that finally everybody else was like, oh no, we don't want this. And I was so relieved, because I wanted nothing to do with it. It sounded miserable to me.
Which band ended up doing it? Do you remember?
Cartel.
I don't know them.
Never heard of them
Cartel.
either.
Wow.
Yeah,
Hey,
I think
we need more bands and bubbles these days, though, right, guys?
So true.
Right.
I mean,
Yes.
it's a little ahead of its time.
It just seemed so unappealing to me, and it seemed so cheesy to me also, and that was a concern of mine as well. But I will say that, like, again, like you guys are all reacting like you never even heard of the show, so like ultimately, it probably would have just literally done nothing.
It's consequenceless. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, also media exists different in 2007 than it does in 2022. 2020 as well, rather, not in 2 years from now. But
Yes.
like, because it feels like whatever video exists will exist forever now. That's
Right.
created. Whereas 2007 stuff, if you didn't record it and slap it on, YouTube was only 2 years old at that time. It came out in 2005. So
Yeah.
people weren't just like uploading everything. So maybe it would have, I don't know, stayed around longer. So if you do this, Alison, it'll be a mark on your life for the rest of your life. Is what I'm saying.
Right. I mean, there are things like when all the Corolla stuff shook out, like there are particular stories that came out about it, or headlines where I'm still like, ugh, like I wish that would just get buried. Like I'm so tired of that coming up when someone searches me. And then there was stuff that was totally great. I don't think this would be as odious as that, but you're right. Like when all of us generate our own content, and when someone else controls it, it doesn't feel good.
No. It also feels like when someone else controls it and you are like, when someone else controls it and you like, when that's the only way by which a certain amount of people know you, it's just it's such a frustrating thing to have that kind of take and like creep over into the things that you're doing, where it's just sort of like, okay, you'll do your podcast, but there will be listeners from your podcast who only know you as the reality show person, and therefore it's like they want some of that, and you're like, well, that was a heavily edited version of me. It's not who I am. And then you sort of have this like crisis of image where it's like, should I be more like that, or should I do this thing? It's just like, even if it feels like, oh, it's just this one time thing, it might slowly start creeping into other things you do. And it's just like, what are the pluses? I don't know.
Did you guys ever watch Real Housewives at all? Like, do you know who Kelly Ben Simone is?
I do not.
Okay.
I did not.
So I'll make this fast because I don't know. I forget. I think she was on Real Housewives of New York, and she came off, in my limited exposure to that show at the time, she came off as like unhinged and crazy. And before that, I was filled in as an editor at Page Six magazine, which was part of the New York Post empire. And at that time, Kelly Ben-Simone was a columnist, I believe, or like either she was a contributor or a columnist, but she was a resource. I remember I was writing a story about fashion. Again, this was not my wheelhouse, but it had been assigned to me. And someone's like, email Kelly, ask her your questions. And I did. And she wrote back and she gave me all this information. She was like a legit, respectable, normal person. And yet, because of the way she was portrayed on that show, and again, I don't actually know. For all I know, I don't know who the real her is. I just know that when I was at that magazine, everyone at the magazine regarded her as like a normal person, like the rest of, of us. And yet after the spin of that show, I still think of her a little bit as kind of unhinged. Like that's how strong those images created by the shows are.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to do it anyway, though, but thanks, guys.
You're welcome. No, Godspeed and good luck.
Your body, your choice.
Yep, that's what that means.
That's what I take it to mean. So I feel like I saw 4 million Instagram stories of Kevin and Demi
haircut.
of your new haircut.
Thank you.
Do you have a new haircut?
Ooh.
Oh my God. Genuinely
No,
startling.
of the celebration on a car's roof at a gas station on election day or a few days after.
The Saturday
Please
after election day.
tell me everything, because that was like a pretty pivotal gathering that I was not aware of, not invited to. I felt like all the cool people are out and I'm not. What's
No
going
one was
on?
invited. You just kind of showed up. You
That's what
drove
I'm
by
saying.
the gas station and you were
A
absorbed into it.
gravitational force. It was a magnet that drew everyone nearby to it.
Yeah, but I'm like, oh, I guess I'm not cool enough to be drawn by that magnet.
Burbank.
I know. It was pretty weak by the time it got here.
What, the parade or the
No,
force?
the force, yeah.
gravitational force.
Yeah, it kind of dies out when it gets to San Fernando.
I don't think it
I'm
extended
sorry.
past Vermont, honestly.
No, it did not.
That's Vermont Street
True.
for anyone
Yes.
who's confused.
That was mostly all Demi and Addie. Demi
Yeah.
and our friend Addie Wayrich.
Yeah, it was basically, it feels like it had a weird genesis, but basically I woke up to bagpipes that morning. There was someone just playing bagpipes on the corner of the street. And as I looked out the window, I heard people honking and cheering. I was like, oh, it happened. We did it. And then I went downstairs and I had my melodica and I just put on a bathrobe and I was like, I'm going to go play music with this guy. And so I started playing melodica on the street, and I texted my friend Addie because she lives diagonally from me, just come out. There are people partying on the street. And she did. And we were just hanging on the corner. And then Paul Scheer, of all people, drove up and was like, you guys got to go down to the corner. There's a bunch of people celebrating over there. And so I went and changed and we walked down to the corner and we just saw a crowd of people. And Addie had driven down there and she parked her car at the gas station and we were like, this is great. I wish, she was like, yeah, I have my car over there. I think we could, and we were both like, oh, stand on the top. And so we stood on the top of the car. And then next thing you know, we're just it's just this force of people driving by, and everyone on every corner of that street is cheering and celebrating. Someone showed up with a speaker at one point, and then we were like, okay, it's tune time. And then we just started playing music, and just more and more people were showing up and just putting in requests for songs, and we were just playing them. And then I don't know, Kevin, did you text me or what happened?
What, for me to show up? Oh,
Yeah.
I saw on your Instagram stories hey, the real party's at Hillhurst and Los Feliz, which is the cross section of that 76 station. So I was
And- But did you recognize where the gas station was from?
Yeah, well, no, I
It's an
didn't see the
iconic gas station.
So basically, the way I found out the news of the election, I was walking around my neighborhood in sleepy town Pasadena. I saw it at 8:45, right when it was called. And I just had this moment of huh? And I just wanting to share something with someone. I heard one person far away, maybe a block or two, just go, "Ooh." And I was like, well, I want a little more than that. So I was like, I'll drive by, I'll honk the horn at Demi and Addie, and then that'll be that. But then I got there, I was like, oh, this is already different. At like 11:45 or 10:45, whenever it was already popping.
It was so early in the day, and the energy was so like it was a nighttime party. Like it feels like we were doing donuts in a parking lot outside of a high school. It was insane.
Truly. I mean, it felt like an act of God that it was called on a Saturday morning. So it was the whole day that people had, and people had off work. And truly, I've never experienced a day where literally everyone in eyesight was smiling. Like not even just like the people who were dancing, like, down, at the actual station, but everyone driving by and everyone honking the horn, everyone stopped at the stoplight was just like, truly, genuinely joyful.
Yeah, it was so great to just like, I was like, well, obviously not everyone that drives by is going to stop or like honk the horn or anything, but it did feel like every single person that drove by was very happy to see the celebration. And there were so many just like little like, yeah. And then like a lot of people just driving by with like giant flags just like bursting out of their sunroofs. There was one point at which, and we are trying so hard to find a video of it, a family pulled up to like the stoplight, a kid climbed on the roof and did a backflip off the roof, and everyone went nuts for it. Like, what? What's going on?
Oh my God.
And then, yeah, it's just like, it feels like every time another car came by, it was just like they had either a Biden-Harris sign or like a fuck Trump sign or some sort of thing that was very much like, we're in this with you. And I feel like I'm just like desperate for that energy again of just sort of like feeling like the entire, like there wasn't one time a person drove by and like seemed upset or like disappointed or even just sort of like tisk tisk to you guys. It was just pure unanimous joy, and I loved it.
No boys of a proud variety to be seen.
What about the gas station employees? Was there ever any?
Not one. I went to go buy like a Powerade from the guy, and he was smiling and just like, hey, like he just seemed totally up for it. I don't know.
That's amazing.
It sounds fun.
It was so rad. And too, just like the true, and it's a little different for me because that's Demi's actual neighborhood. But like for me, coming from Pasadena and driving out there, even having a lot of friends out there, it was so cool to see the feeling and the true sense of neighborhood, genuine community. And we have that so often in Los Angeles because of the sprawl. Like unlike in New York and even other East Coast cities where they just take to the streets, and Spike Lee's breaking bottles of champagne over his head in Brooklyn, all the time. Like it's a little bit different. So it was fun to create that, and to like another rare pandemic experience, to like run into people that you were not planning on seeing that day, of like, oh my God, it's Molly, it's Eric, it's this guy, like people that you haven't seen in a long time, just because like they saw it and it was the place.
It rules.
It was, like,
I learned so many people lived in my neighborhood. I was like, oh, hey, you're down the street. Oh, you, okay.
The funniest ones were Ellen Pompeo driving.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
The video.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Meredith
Grey herself, and then
what did she like honk and stuff?
Celebrities.
No, she didn't make herself known. I think when she
posted about it on Instagram after the fact, and we were like, oh, what?
And then Mariah Carey retweeted it. I was gone, but I was only there for 4 hours. Demi and Addie were there for 7 hours. And when at nighttime fell and they started playing All I Want for Christmas Is You, and then Mariah Carey retweeted and said like, I love whatever she said. She just co-signed it basically. It was awesome.
What other celebs were there? I mean, aside from you guys.
I saw Nicole.
Kamala Harris came by.
Kamala did come by. She gave a big speech on the car, and
she
we
said,
drowned it out.
We did it. We did it,
President Joe.
You're going to be the next president. Really fun times. I mean, the top 10 day, not even just for 2020, but just of like the last few years, and the fact that it happened in 2020 felt mind-blowing too.
I think that's why it was so joyful. It's like we've all been stuck inside our houses all year, and then it's like we just get one moment to like feel like we're part of a community, and just it's like we just wanted joy and to be together. And it's like we literally took to the streets being like, just give us something. And here was just a center where it was like, we're here all day. Like I was texting people just being like, yeah, it's you should swing by here. And then they were like, oh, I'm not gonna be there till 5. And I was like, we're here. Like I don't know what to tell you.
I have a few questions. I have 3 questions. Let's see if I feel like I'm gonna forget them by the time I get out one. Do you think if I had been there, I would not be considering this reality show?
Now, walk us through that, Alice.
Yeah.
Okay,
Correlation.
so for you guys, this was this like cathartic, joyful, elation-fueled moment, which was extra profound in light of having been isolated in 2020. And for me, I'm considering this because I think 2020 is getting to me and it's making me feel like I need something new. And I'm saying, had I been there, maybe my cup, my soul cup would have been
interesting.
filled. And then I would remember who I am.
So go ahead, Demi.
I don't think that would be the case because I don't feel like now I'm like, oh, I don't feel isolated anymore. I kind of feel like it's back to how it was before that, but it was just
okay.
sort of like one nice shining moment. And it feels like it's like a thing that I can look back on and go, oh, that was nice. But I'm not suddenly just like, oh, I don't want to ever hang out with people again. I'm full.
Got it. Okay. Now my second question, where did you guys go to the bathroom?
I didn't.
Oh my God.
I didn't either.
No.
And you had a Powerade in the midst of all that?
Yeah.
Well, you
people
sweated
kept-
it out.
Yeah, I was just gonna
Definitely
say.
sweated it out, and people were very kind and kept being like, "You need water." And at like 2 different points in the day, I just like drank a full thing of water.
Oh yeah,
but also sweated out.
Liz gave us waters on the, and then someone put in a pizza order for everybody.
Oh
so
my-
we were,
it was crazy.
we were handing out pizza like it was a youth group lock-in or something.
Yeah.
It rocked. It was, and the champagne bottles just. It was an endless supply of champagne from somewhere. I don't know.
Every like hour or so, someone would walk up just like, "Hey, pop this," and I was like, "Okay."
2.5 question, and then I got a third question. Did you see any cops ever?
No. What a joy.
And then my last question, did something happen to her car roof? Because I think I saw some tweets.
We happened to her car roof.
We happened to her car roof. She was very like aware of the car roof and what was happening to it as we were there, but she was also just kind of like, "This is fine. Like, I'll get it fixed. This is worth the damage." And she took it to a place who like gave her a quote on how much it would cost to fix it. And she like people throughout the day had been like, "Please let us give you some money," but she was like, no, it's fine. But then eventually the quote was a lot higher than she expected, so she tweeted out just being like, "The quote was higher than I expected. If anyone would like to chip in, that would be nice, but you also don't have to." A few people retweeted it, and she like covered the cost of it, but then the donations were pouring in so much that she was like, any extra donations are going to be donated to Sela, which is a neighborhood homeless organization. And she raised like $4,000 extra to donate, which was just
Wow.
nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool. Which, by the way, like whatever the cost of the car repairs were, I would have paid myself to have that day. Like truly. And I think a lot of people felt that way, even just like secondhand of this, like, I am paying for something just for like that release of joy.
Despite my joking about it, about feeling left out that I wasn't there, just looking at the pictures did bring me joy.
Yeah, same.
Like it was really fun to
good.
see.
It was very funny how many people where it's like I had not talked to them in ages were just sort of like, I've seen like 40 different angles of you on a car today. What's going on? My mom called me and I was just sort of like, I'll have to call you back. I'm busy. And she was just like, okay, call me back. I saw photos of you on a car roof. Anyway, I hope you get down safely. Bye. And I called her at the end of the day being like, yeah, I'm fine.
It's so fun. I know. It became the car roof. Yeah.
Heard
banged
around
on
the world.
around the world. Well, I was on Colbert. Colbert
Oh,
played
really?
a little clip of you guys.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, I didn't know
That's
was also-
so cool.
It was also very funny later that day when it was on the local news and I got so many texts and I was just like, how do this many people watch the local news? I didn't know.
That's what they were texting about is local news.
yeah, there
That's
was
so
like,
funny.
yo, I saw you on the news. I was like, were you just watching the news? What's going on?
Nightcrawler? Come on.
Yes, sir.
Oh my gosh. Well,
sweet day.
speaking of photos, I want to tell you guys about the skylight frame. This
Perfect
is something.
segue. Perfect.
Thank you. I'm the queen of segues. I don't know if you know that about me.
You and George
Queen.
W. Bush.
Wait, what kind of segues does he do?
Well, he famously fell off one like 17 years ago.
Oh,
don't
right.
remember that.
Oh my God. That was fast.
I'll find a
You're
picture of it.
you're the king of segue humor,
Thank
but I'm the queen of segues. But anyway, the skylight frame is this wonderful photo frame that you can instantly update by email, you instantly update photos to it, and it then plays the photos. Way before they were a sponsor, Daniel was like, hey, I have the perfect gift for the grandmas this year for Christmas. And we gave his mom one and we gave my mom one. And my mom has it prominently displayed, and it's got all these baby pictures of the kids. And whenever we go to their house, Elliot and now Owen, they just become mesmerized by it. And Elliot even knows how to operate it, and my mom knows how to operate it. So if a grandma and a 3-year-old can operate it, you can definitely operate it. And it just makes a great gift for right now when, the holidays are probably not going to be how we expect them to be, and they can be lonely and all this. Sending photos to Skylight is effortless. Everyone in the family can just email them to your personal Skylight email address, and they'll pop up in seconds. It has a gorgeous 10-inch touchscreen. You can swipe through photos with your finger and even tap to thank the person who sent a photo. 100% satisfaction guaranteed. If you don't love your Skylight, they offer a full refund. Now, as a special offer, you can get $10 off your purchase of a Skylight frame when you go to skylightframe.com and enter code Alison. That's right. To get $10 off your purchase of a Skylight frame, just go to skylightframe.com and enter code Alison. That's Skylight Frame, SKYLIGHTFRAME.com, promo code Alison. And speaking of Elliot, as I was a moment ago, Elliot and Owen, I want to tell you guys about something that has really saved my buns with them, and it's called KiwiCo. And they send you these boxes with it's like a project box tailored to the kid's age, relating to STEAM. So science, technology, engineering, art, and math. And they're so creative and so much fun. And what I do is I receive the boxes, because I am subscribed. I receive the boxes, and then I don't give them to my kids right away. I put them away for when I need something like a reward or something distracting, which if you're a parent, you know that you have moments where you're like, I need a Hail Mary. You guys, anyone who knows sports, am I using that correctly?
Oh yeah, I know
don't
sports, and you're using it perfectly.
Thank you. I don't believe.
Also knows hailing, so
yeah, I don't believe either. I don't believe anything anyone is saying, but I do use that. But it's just great because Elliot is so fascinating. Each box is like a joy to open. One of his favorites is a fishing kit game kind of thing, and it's got this like lake that velcros closed. It's fabric, and then it's got these fish, and then it's got fishing poles, and there's a little book that comes with it, and it's so great. And like I said, it's geared to your kids' ages. KiwiCo is redefining learning with hands-on projects that build confidence, creativity, and critical thinking skills. There's something for every kid or kid at heart at KiwiCo. Get 50% off your first month plus free shipping on any crate line with code Alison at KiwiCo. That's 50% off your first month at KiwiCo, KIWICO.com, promo code Alison. Again, that's KiwiCo.com, promo code Alison. Okay, and I'm back. Are we about to see George Bush falling off a Segway?
Right there, baby.
Oh my gosh.
Oh.
Okay.
We have photos.
I love it in a 4-panel. It makes it look like a cartoon.
Yes. It does feel animated.
And I was right on the dot. It
that.
was 2003, 17 years ago. This is
Holy
in
cow.
Maine. I don't know why this stuck with me, but it sure did. Yes. Applause for him.
Thank you.
That
So
was for you nailing
I
the
guess.
date, really.
if you need
thank you.
if you need to see that, which you do, patreon.com/Alison Rosen, you can see the video. So Demi, you are writing for a new late night show, yes?
That is correct.
How's it going?
It's great.
Tell us about it.
It's the Amber Ruffin show on everyone's favorite streaming service, Peacock. Everyone's got it. Everyone has it. You know already. But it's free. But it's just been so lovely. It's like Amber's the best boss. My coworkers are the best. Just everyone is so lovely. It feels like a dream.
Wait, did you say Amber's the best boss?
Yes, I did, Bruce. Yes, I did.
think you
I'm
might have
sorry.
forgot about someone.
I did not.
Okay.
2, 3, 4.
I'll see myself out.
Wait, did you work with Bruce?
That's Bruce right there.
Yeah, and no, I'll never work with Demi Adejuyigbe. I hate September.
Well, Bruce and I have a big rivalry. He's a big December boy. When
That's
was he
right.
born? Where were you born?
I was born September 23rd, 1949.
Oh, so
in
he's
Monmouth
jealous.
County Hospital.
Oh, that's a lot of detail for you to have, Bruce.
Well, I should know it. It's my birthday.
not wrong.
Anyway, good seeing you guys. Goodbye. Come on.
But the show is great. It's so nice to like work for someone who I don't feel like I have to modify my voice to write stuff for her. So it's just been very lovely. And like, again, like it's a dream writing staff. The other writers are just so funny and brilliant. Everything we write, I'm like, oh, it's so cool. This gets to be on TV. So it's great.
And is this all done remotely?
Yeah. We're all on Zoom.
Is that weird?
It is weird. I have not met one of the other writers in person ever before, Jenny Hagel, who is the co-head writer. But it's also, I think it's like, it works so well for quarantine just because of the nature of the show and the fact that it's like the show itself started in a COVID time. So it feels like everything we're producing isn't like, oh, we got to convert this existing idea of what a late night show is into this format. It's like, no, we have an idea of what our show is and that's what we're writing to. But it is upsetting just because I love a writer's room and I love getting the bounce off of other people in a writer's room. And also if it weren't for COVID, I'd be in New York right now and that would be lovely. But yeah.
Oh, is she in New York?
Yeah, they shoot all in New York, which is like, it's great that I can be here and still work on the show. But I also love New York and was relishing the opportunity to go to New York for 10 weeks and just work on that. But
New York, that's just across the river from New Jersey.
Sure is.
Where
Bruce.
I am. Come on.
You know your geography.
Hey, oh yeah, that's one of my tunes.
Bruce, why are you playing your own music so loud?
Well, I guess I'm a narcissist.
I think you're going to need to sing.
I don't want to.
Oh. But
That's all you
did
get.
to say that I don't want to.
Well, I'm a people pleaser. It's an insecurity of mine.
That's very kind of you.
Oh, thanks. You guys want to hang out after this?
Oh, I'm so busy. I'm so sorry.
With
Oh,
what?
yeah. Yeah, with what?
Just things.
You got a Zoom happy hour to go to? Come on.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, point taken. I understand. I'll see myself out again. I guess everybody does have a hungry heart. Goodbye.
Bye, Bruce.
Man, I could not. I'm such a fan of his. I was speechless that whole time. I couldn't even say anything.
We could
It's
tell.
a pretty-
I was like,
Yeah.
"Yo, Kevin, you should really ask for an autograph."
Hubba. Who knew that rock legends could Zoom bomb? I hope Neil Young comes next episode. What are you guys talking about? That's just a bad impression of a Neil Young.
I was like, "That's Elmo."
I don't know what Neil Young's speaking voice sounds like, really.
Neither do I.
It's pretty normal. It's not. He's one of those guys that the speaking voice doesn't match the singing voice.
Right. You know what's sad is I do feel like I have a good Bruce Springsteen speaking voice impression, but it's so accurate and not enough people know it that it doesn't read at all. No one knows who I'm doing unless they really know him.
That's like my Christoph Waltz.
Oh, let's hear
I
it.
think your Christoph Waltz is good.
Oh, thank you so much, Kevin Parter. Have you all heard about my daughter, Alita Battle Angel?
Wait, I
Such
heard
a
you were an
lovely
author.
robot.
Are you an
Yeah.
author?
No, I'm not an author. I've done a bit of writing of my own, but it's not anything I've published in an official capacity.
Oh, I thought you were the author of All My Pain. Are you not?
No, I am not the author of all your pain.
Okay.
I'm the James Bond is the author of all my pain.
Oh, see, I didn't consider that angle. I'm so sorry,
Yes,
Christoph.
That's what it is.
Yeah. Hey, you were good in that Muppet movie, I think.
Thank you.
You're
I
welcome.
don't remember doing it myself, to be perfectly honest with you, Kevin.
Okay, no, fair is fair. Also, you shouldn't work with Woody Allen. That's kind of messed up that you did that.
Remains to be seen. I want him to have his day in court.
Oh my God. You and Richard Kind. Oh, man. Oh, thanks for coming by, Chris.
Anytime.
Christoph, do you know Bruce Springsteen?
I do. We worked together for a brief period of time in the 2010s, I believe. Is he around?
Yeah, no, I'm here. I just had my screen off.
Buddy.
Hey, Krista. Oh, it's good to see you, man.
It's good to see you, too. Have you met my daughter, Alita Battle Angel?
No, but I saw that movie and I loved it.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, Big Eyes, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
No, that was another film that I was also in.
Oh, that's
Big
right.
Eyes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
You like projects with big eyes, right?
I love a big eye, especially the biggest eye of all, Inglourious
Sauron.
Basterds.
Oh, okay. Glorious Bastard. Sure,
Oh,
okay.
I wish Sauron. I've been trying to get myself into one of those Lord of the Ring television projects they're doing over at Amazon.
Oh, yeah, the ones where it's like, it's Lord of the Rings, but now they're fucking.
That's right. I was the one who said they should have sex.
Yeah,
that was
sounds
you?
like you.
That was me. I sent them an email being like, look, Jeffrey, that's what I call Mr. Bezos. I said, Jeffrey, if you're going to have the elves in the series, you should update it so that they do the things that everybody loves to do, like kissing, and then the rest of it.
Christoph, Bruce, what are you going to do for Thanksgiving this year?
Well, I'm making a big old turkey for the whole family. Gonna carve one up for me and Patty, my wife of 24 years, I think. And we're just staying at home. Well, I don't know. It gets a little hazy in the 90s because we had our son Evan before we were married. We had him out of wedlock.
Sure.
And but we've been together since 1988, basically.
And Christoph, what about you?
Oh, I'm going to watch one of my famous films that I was starring in, which I can
your
tell
famous
you.
films.
That's right. One of my famous films that I've starred in.
Maybe the most famous.
That's right. The Zero Theorem by Terry Gilliam. I watch it every year around Thanksgiving because it reminds me of Thanksgiving because I watched it the first time on Thanksgiving.
Terry Gilliam. I love Brazil. I played a bunch of shows in Brazil with the E Street Band. Also, I love that movie.
You're such a card, Bruce. I admire your wit.
Hey, you got me fair and square.
Oh my gosh.
You know, my
Wow.
voice is getting a little sore, so I'm going to head out.
All right, farewell.
All right, good. Hey, another great movie, Lulu Wang. I love that movie.
I didn't see it because I wasn't in it.
Oh, wait, you don't see any movie that you're not in?
That is correct.
If I had that policy, the only movie I'd ever see is High Fidelity. I have a cameo in that.
Oh, I wouldn't. I've never seen it. Again, I was not acting at that time.
Oh, it's pretty good. You know, John Cusack, like before he started looking real weird, you know, in the 2000s. It's good. It's good. Jack Black, great Jack Black. Supporting performance.
I don't know who that is.
Interesting. You sure don't know a lot about movies, Christoph.
I really only like to focus on the projects for which I am directly involved and paid for my involvement.
Okay, so you haven't seen it, but you've seen Carnage a bunch.
Yes, many a time.
Interesting.
Scene.
All right, goodbye.
No, you can keep going. I felt like you might need an out.
No, actually, Christoph just ran out of here. I don't know why. You said scene, and I think he thought a scene was starting somewhere that he needed to be a part of.
That makes sense, yeah.
Yeah, and I think Bruce thought there was like some scene on the boardwalk that he needed to get to with all those Jersey types.
Now I feel bad. I feel like I what if I like clipped off the creativity while it was still in full bloom?
I don't think you did that.
I
think
just
it was
felt like
running
you
on
guys
fumes.
might be like, oh shoot, what do we do?
You were very correct. I was very much like, okay, I need an out, or else we're just doing this for the rest of the show.
Well, I was going to try to lead Christoph Waltz into asking me how many of Bruce's songs are in Waltz time, to which I think there's like 3, which makes sense. 3.
You know too much about Bruce Springsteen.
Yep. No, I don't like how knowledgeable this was.
I say let's do some deleted tweets, a segment we haven't done in a really long time, where we share tweets that we thought of tweeting but didn't. And there is a rollicking song which I haven't heard in far too long.
Feel that beat. I believe we have a deleted tweet. Not so sweet, thought is incomplete. Think I'll bid a quick retreat. I believe we have a deleted tweet.
Love it. Okay. I'm actually
love this
trying
one.
to go to my own drafts folder.
Okay, so are these drafts? Are these tweets we tweeted and deleted?
Oh my
Are-
God. It started with tweets we thought of tweeting but didn't. So sometimes they're in a drafts folder, but
Oh,
you
yeah.
haven't sent them. It could be a literally deleted tweet though. If you
Okay,
had one
so-
that you remember deleting.
Some we tweeted and then deleted after the fact.
It could be that, or it could just be
Okay.
something that you thought. Generally all the tweets that I think of tweeting, including 6 this week, involve my bowels in some way.
Okay.
And it's I just really want a place a safe space to go to talk about what's going on with my bowels. But I know that even though I'm disgusting, that's even more disgusting.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree. It is disgusting.
Yeah, excuse me for clearing my throat right into the mic. That's a real rookie move. Yes. So I think my deleted tweet would be something like, should I form a burner account just to talk about what's going on with my bowels? But I didn't send it because it's also gross.
Yeah, what do you think? What do you think the numbers would have been on that? How many RTs? How many likies?
I'm going to say one retweet or so, 2. And then in terms of likes, maybe less than 30. It's just not going to be a popular tweet. It's not going to do numbers.
I feel like gross stuff travels if it's phrased well, though, because people like seeing someone. I think grossness is so human that people enjoy it, but it's just you gotta do it right. It can't just be oh, I can't stop shitting. People are like, what?
Grossness, is it human or is it dancer? Think
It's
about
both.
it. Okay.
It's a dance with the toilet.
Okay. Hey, I love, man, the toilet's your dance partner and you got to do a doozy
Even if we were dancing on the John.
plop, 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 plop. Oh, I don't like that. Don't like that.
All right. What about you guys?
I generally if I think of something that I'll try to just tweet it immediately because I don't have the Twitter app on my phone. So if it's a joke, and if I don't tweet it immediately, I'll just write it down and look at it every so often and be like, what's this for? But the only things that I have that I could find that I was like, oh, I'll share this, was one tweet that was me walking into a room visibly bruised after losing a fight to Mark Wahlberg. You should see the other guys.
Oh, man.
That's good.
That would have done some boffo business on Twitter.com.
That's right. And now
I'll tell you
it's
that
free
much.
for any listener to just steal.
Oh, I love that. Ooh, yes. Everyone who's listening, steal all of our tweets and tweet them at the same time.
And
Who's
if
all of our tweets?
all of our tweets, I love that musical. If my BM tweet does well, you let me know.
Okay.
Yeah.
It should.
What about you, Kevin?
Well, I had an interesting one because when was that huge earthquake here? Where it's everyone felt like the walls were shaking. It was 2 months ago. You remember that?
It was early summer.
It all
I feel
blends.
like.
Maybe it was August or something. I don't remember.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that happened. And my instinct was to tweet, that was Chadwick and RBG hugging in heaven because she had just died the day before.
Someone did tweet that. And
Well,
I thought it was-
okay. So here's the story with it.
Oh.
So I said that to my friend on the phone because we called each other. I'm like, "Did you feel that?" She was like, "Yeah." And then I said, "I really want to tweet that was Chadwick and RBG hugging," and she said, "No, don't tweet that. That's off color, inappropriate." And then I checked Twitter, and our friend Brothi Gupta tweeted the exact same thing. She tweeted that was Chadwick and RBG hugging in heaven.
It was
Hi. Dumb question. Who's
Yeah.
Chadwick?
Chadwick Boseman.
Boseman.
He plays Black Panther.
Oh, yes. Okay. Oh.
Kevin, I thought it was so funny. I not only retweeted it, but texted Broti directly saying she was the funniest person I knew. So if you had tweeted it, Might have been your text, man.
I know. And my friend, she was like, "No, it's in bad taste." I've gotten some.
Wait,
you know
why
what?
would
I've
it
gotten
be in
some
bad
bad
taste?
Twitter tips this pandemic. I'll say
I
that
think
much.
I think it's because a lot of people, for some reason, think of like they're like Kevin's image to me is not that. So whenever you do something like that, they're always just like, "Kevin, don't." And I'm always just like, "It's a good joke. It was a good joke."
I think that's right.
What did we ask you to tweet that everyone's like, "No, Kevin."
The thing that, and this was a council of friends. It was like in a group chat or some group Zoom thing. The thing I wanted to tweet, well, I said it in conversation. I was like, "Well, guys, on the upside, no school shootings the past few months."
Right.
And then I tweeted a version of that, and it did so poorly. And then there was a similar tweet that did gangbusters. And I think it is a voice thing because Brothy is like more of a stinker on Twitter.
Yeah.
Like
Wait,
she's.
Sorry, I cut you off, but I'm still not. I feel like there's like a scrambled egg in my brain. Why would it be in poor taste?
What, to tweet that no school shootings have happened?
No. To tweet that was Chadwick and RGB hugging in heaven.
Well, because they
RBG.
had just passed away like a month and a day ago, I think,
I feel like there's
respectively, or
something
whatever the gap
sweet
I
was.
think
about
that's
it.
why it's so funny, but also
That's-
because it feels like it's like if I know who you are, then I can tell that it's like making fun of the type of person who tweets that in all earnest, and that's why it's
the
funny
thing.
to me.
Yeah, that's what's hard because there were sincere tweets going around of like, Chadwick just got to heaven and said queen to RBG, and she just said king to him or whatever.
Yeah,
that
Paul Walker's
nonsense.
doing the Wakanda salute or whatever.
My God. Or yeah, when you see like fan art of Alex Trebek in heaven and the contestants are RBG and two other people that died this year.
I
It's just
see.
like,
So you are. Oh my God. I don't know if you guys feel that to explain a joke to death makes it the funniest. I know I do. Sorry, I'm like dissecting this.
I don't
but
think it ruins it.
your joke is making fun of that
the kind
sentiment.
of people that
I get
would
it.
tweet.
Yes, I
That was
totally get it
actually-
now.
Guys, that was RBG and Chadwick hugging in heaven. Yeah.
Right. I thought you were actually sincerely saying it, and I was like, "What's wrong with that?" Like,
No,
but you're
I would
making
not-
fun of it. I
would
totally
not
get it.
sincerely say that.
Okay.
I think
now it all makes
equivocating Chadwick Boseman and RBG for a myriad of reasons is mentally ill. In terms of like on every conceivable level. Oh man.
Tone Zone. Did you have one?
Yeah. So I have backstory here. So a thing that tends to happen fairly regularly for me. Well, maybe not fairly regularly, but oftentimes, let's just say when I'm not exactly sober, I will still at least be in the mindset of this is funny to me right now, but probably only me. And then I'll put it in my drafts and then forget about it and then eventually open my drafts and like just see all this stuff that is just nonsense. And so I have a lot of those.
Ooh,
And
good.
but the one that I found just now that I literally have no recollection of just says, "Where does one buy some buckwheat? I'm really jonesing for some bee wheat."
Bee wheat.
Bee-wheat.
That's it. I don't know why.
Bee-wheat. I like it.
Tony, you had a tweet that cracked me up, which was that you don't think you've ever literally seen someone sneeze so hard that it would knock over a meatball.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
You phrased it even better than I did, though. That was funny.
Do you have any deleted tweets, Allison?
Well, I shared my
The bowel one.
yeah, the bow one, and then I have another one, which was YouTube's new. This is not funny though. YouTube's new terms of service say they can place ads on content even if the channels aren't part of the partner program. What the fuck? Do you guys know about that?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So I got this email from YouTube saying that like their new terms of it lists their new terms of, it's one of those regular like updating our terms of service things that you get and you never read. But I did look at it, and one of the things says that even if you're not in the YouTube partner program, so the YouTube partner program means that they place ads on your videos and like you get a few. Well, I don't get very much, but I don't know how. I forget what the actual breakdown is. It's not very much. But for like big YouTubers, I think that is that is a source of income for them. And it says now they can place ads on videos even if the videos aren't part of the YouTube partner program. And so I was just like, what? But then I decided not to tweet about it because I was just like, I'm just starting out on YouTube, even though I've been there for 400 years, but like I'm just refurbishing my channel and I don't know. I don't want to run afoul of them. And I actually haven't. And then I didn't say anything about it. And I noticed like a lot of people tweeting about it and I haven't followed it. So I don't know if anything changed. It seemed like something they just wanted to eke by and then maybe it wouldn't last though. I don't know. The
YouTube restriction stuff is so slippery. I've had ads put on my stuff just because it used some copyrighted content. Demi, you've probably had the same too.
Oh yeah, every year.
It's like, yeah, you get ads slapped on it because you used whatever song or whatever clip from
it's always super frustrating when you see what the ads are, when someone's like, this ad popped up and I'm like, obviously I didn't select that ad, but now I have to go in and figure out how to purposefully make sure it can't pop up on there, which is annoying.
And it's
I don't even think you can
the ad is for the Blue Lives Donation Fund. It's like, what the fuck?
You can block specific ads, but it's like such a, like, you have to figure out like what category it would be in. It's so annoying.
I didn't even know you can select at all, like what ads they put on. I just know now they have a thing where like one of the steps in uploading your videos is you indicate, is there adult content? Is there, all the different sorts of things, but that's not so that you can choose what ads. It's just so that they don't put Bible study on something that's where you're like talking about sexual positions,
right?
Or what have you.
That's actually pretty biblical, if you ask me. Song of Solomon is freaking filthy.
It's called missionary for a reason.
Hey,
why is it called that?
I don't know.
Yeah, I also don't know.
That really feels like it should be up my alley. Yeah.
Well, if it's up your alley, it's not missionary.
Okay.
I do feel like it has something to do with the idea that it is a purely procreative sexual position. But I'm also like, that's me talking out my ass. I don't know.
Also, not okay. Let's say, okay.
He Googling?
Yes, I'm Googling it. The etymology, it's in connection with English-speaking Christian missionaries who supposedly encouraged the sexual position of new converts in the colonial era. However, the term probably originated from Kinsey's, thank you, sexual behavior in the human male through a confluence of misunderstanding and misinterpretations of the historical documents. Oh, so there's a few origins here. But yes, it is literally connected to literal missionaries.
I find that description to be frustratingly unclear. But you know what is frustratingly clear? This is one of my famous segues as the segue queen.
Hey,
That's
GWB
right.
is back, baby.
That's right. Simply Earth essential oils. They send you a Simply Earth box each month. Simply Earth monthly recipe box. Perhaps you have some essential oils like me where you're like, ooh, I really like them. They seem cool, like pure essential oils. They smell great and you buy them and they're expensive and they sit on your shelf and you don't know what to do with them. This is why you need the Simply Earth essential oil recipe box. It's like a meal kit box, but it's not edible. It gives you all the stuff you need to use essential oils and to make really wonderful products that you will use. There's one where you make candles. You can make like a tonic. You can make lotion, a face scrub, all sorts of stuff, and they all smell so good. Here's how it works. You get 4 pure essential oils and natural ingredients delivered to your doorstep. You use the easy to follow recipes to make 6 different products with the oils and ingredients found in the box. Enjoy the peace of mind that comes with knowing that you're using natural products that you know the ingredients of. Using essential oils to support your wellness doesn't have to be overwhelming. Have fun making your home toxin-free with Simply Earth's essential oil recipe box. Plus, get a free 80 milliliter diffuser when you subscribe using my URL, simplyearth.com/bestfriend. Again, that's simplyearth.com/bestfriend, simplyearth.com/bestfriend. I'd like to take a moment to welcome our new patrons, and then I think we should do some Just Me or Everyone.
Real
welcome.
Quick,
yes.
I do have another deleted tweet that is up Kevin's alley because it's about Ellen DeGeneres.
Please.
Hey, my old friend.
That's right. I don't think our economy can survive Ellen DeGeneres. Teens are going viral at an alarming rate. She can't give them all free stuff. Anyway.
Nice. Thank you. So I'd like to welcome Ryan H, Julie S, Gina G, Serena C, Trent T, and Mike C. Oh my gosh, Kevin has an Ellen hat. Actually, no, that's not the truth, Ellen. Oh,
like
that's
an InfoWars host.
What's that?
It's too much text, and like with the mic in front of your face, you look like an InfoWars host.
I do. Oh no!
I'm sorry.
Especially with the beard. Oh, you're right.
That's
Oh,
too much information.
This is
amazing.
This is the first baseball cap I've ever bought in my adult life.
Really?
Yeah, I don't own any. I
love
should
it.
I should buy a different one, obviously, but this one made me laugh.
Dakota Johnson's fiery quote.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The first brick thrown at Ellen Wall.
Ellen, wow. That is hilarious. Patreon.com/Alison Rosen. You can sign up for a year. You get 2 months. You get 2 months free. So 12 months, the price of 10. You can't afford not to do it. Okay. Let's do some Just Me or Everyone. And I believe we have our own Just Me or Everyone's, and we have the ones that you guys sent in. Let's hear the song.
Sometimes I ponder on
The song is making me horny.
something
Sorry.
I have thought or done. Is it just me
I like the wind up,
or everyone?
Here we go. See?
Wow. It's the official sound effect
Okay.
of Kevin.
Oh my gosh, you guys, I'm trying to navigate to a certain spot on Twitter, but now that there's
Wait.
the fleets, I'm confused.
Okay, well, while she's doing that, can I ask a sincere question? Do y'all have playlists for
Bonin?
intimacy? Do you have intimacy playlists?
I did, and I used it while I was sleeping with one person. And then when we stopped sleeping together, I was just sort of like, it feels weird to reuse this. So I deleted it and I was like, I don't want to do this.
Oh, that's noble. That's integrity.
Yeah, that's me. What can I say?
Demi's the kind of guy that doesn't reuse a fuck jams.
Hold up, we gotta stop. I've heard this song before.
Baby, no, I want your songs to be special. Oh, that's awesome. Anyone else got an?
No, I can't say that I've literally never done that.
Okay. Well, you have the drum set in your room, so you are the
that's right.
soundtrack.
Right.
Yeah.
And I have not either. Although I did lose my virginity to Sunny Day Real Estate, which I know dates me quite a bit. Kevin.
You slept with the entire band?
I was a big fan. Wow. Kevin, what about you? Do you have this playlist?
No. Maybe I used to. I don't think I do though. I have a folder called Sexy on Spotify with a bunch of different playlists, but I don't think they're for sex.
I made a very public playlist on my Spotify called Sex Jams, and it's just Fast Car by Tracy Chapman over and over. I just want people to stumble upon it and be like, huh?
I made a Horny Summer 2019 playlist. Maybe that was the closest I've gotten to that.
I do have a question for women or women identifying people who might be listening, or actually
this
anyone
one.
who. What'd you say?
I said I'll take this one.
Okay. Anyone who wears lingerie, and this goes way back because my days of sexy lingerie is in the rear, like way far in the rear view, and I don't mean like on my butt.
Doesn't have to be, honey.
I know, but I just think I think for me it is right. Who knows? Maybe someday I'll decide that feels like me again. But I remember wondering, like, is it déclassé to reuse lingerie with different people?
I would say why am I answering this?
Because you decided to field it. What do you think?
It doesn't feel strange to me. I don't know. That's like saying, is it? It's different, but is it gauche for a man to wear the same underwear that he then takes off? It's like, no, I don't think so.
Yeah, it's not like
Yeah.
I wouldn't think the person would know necessarily,
Well, I would always be like, so when I showed this to so-and-so, they felt this way, but what do you think?
Oh, I would
Think
be
that's-
like,
was that in
don't
poor
do
form?
that. I think, yeah.
Don't give the history. What are you doing?
I'm just kidding. Of course I didn't.
That's
yeah,
too
no,
much
I know that
information.
Thank you.
Joe Quazala getting played on this episode. I know that they won't know. But I just remembered feeling like there's something weird about this. There's something weird about reusing this.
I think it depends on the history also. Because if it's like, oh, my ex gave me this lingerie, then it's like intrinsically tied to that person. And it feels like, oh, I don't know, but if I, it's just like, you don't want that necessarily being tied into it.
Like if their face is sewn onto the crotch of it, then that might be an obstacle.
You know what it was? And again, this is a long time ago. Women say like, oh, I buy lingerie for me. And they use that voice when they do it. I like to feel sexy, but it specifically was purchased with a certain person in mind. So you're right. It's the link in my own mind. Like it wasn't like, maybe if it was just something that I bought because I liked it, but this was like,
but
whatever.
At the same time, it's like you get a nice piece of lingerie and then you break up with someone. Is it like, damn, I gotta throw this away? Or is it like, I don't know. I don't know what the answer is.
That's what I'm wondering.
Weird though, to make it like just even more across the spectrum. I have associations with people with certain clothes of mine. Of like, oh, I wore this sweater or this shirt the night I met so-and-so, or I remember having a crush on this person and I wore this.
Yeah.
And sometimes I get weirdly OCD about clothes stuff.
No, I have the same thing.
Do you really?
Yeah. I have like jackets where I'm like, well, I met this person while I was wearing this jacket. And then it feels like, well, I don't want to wear this to meet a different person because I'll be like, oh, it's that person's jacket.
I know. I guess it's a good argument against a capsule wardrobe in that sense.
Yeah.
Wait, a capsule wardrobe is what? Like having your like 5 main pieces?
Yeah, same clothes every day, basically, like a uniform.
That's what I have. I have leaned into that heavily during quarantine. I already didn't mix it up that much, but during quarantine, like I'm switching up my Zoom tops and stuff, but
Zoom tops. Did it ba 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 Zoom tops. Did it ba ba da Zoom tops. What were you going to say, Demi?
I was going to say, I think it might be an argument for capsule wardrobes, though, because I think if you're wearing the same thing over and over, you don't really connect a person to your outfit if it's just sort of like, well, this is everyone's thing. But if you're like, no, I wore this jacket and I distinctly remember this jacket on this date, then it's like hard to...
or
it's also it's your own conscience. If you're like, I can separate it, then who cares?
I guess maybe D. Ray McKesson never goes through this.
Because he just wears that puffy jacket all the time.
That's right.
What if it's an argument for capsule friendships? And by that, I mean like you only know 2 people and that's all you ever see.
Oh my God. Well, that's just a quarantine pod.
Yeah.
Okay. So just me or everyone. I know you guys have your own. Kevin, would you like to start?
Oh yeah. Is it just me or is it everyone that can't time how to buy produce?
That's everyone. I feel like that's everyone.
Like a dusty, like 80s stand-up. Like produce, the timing of it, I can never figure it out. But truly, it is such a bummer, especially with eating healthy stuff, because the stuff that lasts are preservatives. So to maintain a nutritious lifestyle, it does require planning and timing, and then the discipline to be like, no, I won't get takeout tonight, or I won't just have like cheese and crackers or chips and salsa or something instead, because like all my spinach always goes bad, most of my bananas go bad, most of the fruits and veggies I get, like I just end up not using.
Right.
4 avocados.
That was
different.
Greg Heller talking about how ridiculous it is that avocados are sold 4 to a bunch, like at Trader Joe's, or I think a lot of places. I think some places, I believe it was Trader Joe. I don't know where he was talking about, but there was some place where they would sell like a pack of 4 avocados, and it's impossible. He was saying no one's ever like, oh, awesome, 4 avocados.
I disagree though strongly, because I do it all. I buy those regularly.
And then what do you do with them?
Use them.
Because
I find that when you first buy them, they're not quite ready yet. And then, give it a few days or something, and then I use them. But also, I have found out though that if you put avocados in the fridge, they last a little longer.
I thought you weren't supposed to do that.
Is that really a thing? I don't know. Why?
I feel like the window is short.
The mayor said I shouldn't.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
I
order to stay outside or for the avocado. Stupid. Never mind. Hey, Tony, can you cut that joke out real quick?
We're going to have to get Greg back to talk about this because he's passionate about avocados. We throw out bananas so frequently. And in our recent grocery order, there were 5 more bananas. And it became a point of contention in my marriage. I just said to Daniel, why are we still doing this? Why are we still, why buy 5?
Well, and it's and I don't mean to take it to a social justice place, but it is an insult to the Minion community to do that. I feel like every time you throw out a banana.
I like having bananas go bad because I'm always just like, oh, it's time to make banana
bread. Yes, totally.
Yeah.
Or banana cookies.
Well, the last thing that happened was the bananas went into the freezer with the idea of using them at some point, and then we needed them in the freezer, so that time we just threw out really cold bananas. I don't know. So yes, that's not just you at all, Kevin.
Great.
Demi, what about you?
Is it just me or everyone that gets anxious when you see a dark window in a loud room? Like if there's a room with a lot of if a lot of people talking very loud, or there's yelling or something, if I see a window where I can't see anything on the other side of it makes me very anxious. I'm always like, something's gonna pop up there. And I think for me, it's like something's gonna pop up there and I'm not gonna be able to get anyone's attention to be like, guys, there's something at the window. But the thing is, when it's quiet or when I'm alone, I don't have any problem with that at all. So I don't know why that is.
Interesting.
Wait, I'm trying to understand.
Sounds like it's just me.
No, it might be. It might be.
No, you've tapped into the American consciousness here.
Well, just being in any room, if you're at a party or something, and it's too loud, or it's a lot of people are talking, there's a lot of noise, whatever it is. If you see a dark window where it's you can't see what's on the other side of the window, maybe because it's nighttime and there's nothing there or whatever, I always get very anxious.
Ooh, I could see that. Yeah. Because I thought you were talking about if you saw a house and it was loud inside, and you couldn't see what was going on.
You mean if you're inside
the house,
and I'm looking out of a window, I'm or it's if I'm across the room and I see a window where suddenly I'm I don't know what's on the other side of that window, or it's just it's too dark for me to see whatever's there. I always my heart starts beating very fast. I'm just oh my God, something's happening.
I'm sure that's not just you. I don't have that so much, but
also, why is the house loud, Demi? Aren't you being safe?
Yeah, I'm not talking about now. I was just thinking back to when I had parties and stuff. That's a thing I've always. But it also, I think I have anxieties about windows specifically in a lot of different scenarios. I also get very nervous whenever a car passes me on the highway. If the window is open, I'm like, oh my God, oh no, like I'm gonna be in a drive-by shooting or something. But.
Is the solution to that for you blinds or curtains or something, just so you're not seeing the window?
No,
or lights?
I mean, at least to break the window.
I think it's just being able to see what's on the other side of the window, but I also think it might just be everyone being quieter.
Right, not being in that situation. I remember for some reason this is making me think of that. It's not the same, but I was at my friend Katie's birthday party. She has a Halloween-ish. It was October 27th. It's her birthday when she was turning 13. So we were all turning 13. I've talked about this before. It was a slumber party. We watched The Exorcist. I barely even watched it. I had my head under a blanket, but it scared the shit. Just listening to it just scared the shit out of me. I mean, I feel like I didn't sleep. I didn't feel like I had peace of mind for 6 months. It just frightened the crap out of me. And that night, so we watch or listen to this movie, and then we go downstairs to all sleep. And I couldn't decide: do I want my sleeping bag to be the furthest away from the window, but near the staircase, or do I want to be the furthest from the staircase near the window, the sliding door to the outside? I'm not sure if I'm painting a good enough picture of this, but what I'm saying is I couldn't decide if I was more afraid of danger coming into the house from outside or coming into the room from down the staircase. I just knew I wasn't going to be sleeping that night.
That's a Sophie's choice.
It really was. Because it was I wanted my back to the wall, but there was no wall. Really scary.
I've heard a lot of freaked out, don't know where to sleep stories from sleepover stuff when people were kids.
Yeah.
I miss that feeling actually. Wait, is this an insane idea? I was thinking for
Zoom slumber party?
No, not Zoom, in 2023 or whenever. for like my 35th birthday to have a freaking slumber party.
You should do it. I think that's a great
that be
idea.
Fun?
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
Like, or even like, I don't know, like rent an Airbnb or something and essentially just do like whatever the equivalent of a slumber party is and invite like, I don't know, 10 people or something.
I think that is a
lovely.
super fun idea. I know that I miss that kind of fun as an adult. I know that I'm also not getting invited to your birthday party, but I'm just saying.
Actually, that's not the truth, Allison. You were going to get invited.
Oh, I'll be there. I will so be there. I'll tell Daniel he's taking the kids. I'm going to Kevin's birthday party. I'm there. And I'll remember, too. I've got a steel trap mind.
Oh, I look forward to it. I'm already planning out birthday parties for 2021, 22, and 23 now. I think I got the next 2 years locked up because I do feel like normalcy will return in some fashion. I just need my friends to be vaccinated. I don't care about the world. I just need my circle.
Doesn't it seem like the vaccine is going to be soon?
It will be. It'll be December 11th. When
I was saying this to Kevin yesterday, but it's like, I think the thing about the vaccine to me is just like, no matter how soon it is, I won't feel like, okay, we can return to normal until it's like a majority of people have it. And I have no idea when that's going to be. It's going to take a while.
Right. Which is the correct mindset that you have. It will take a while. But as far as it rolling out and healthcare workers and first responders getting it, it's so close and it makes me feel not insane now.
I know that this is so beside the point.
Mm-hmm.
So beside the point. And yet I am curious.
Does Fauci got a hog or what?
Wait, what?
Nothing. Go ahead.
I'm curious, is this going to be one of those shots that you don't feel a lot or one where the next day you're like, did someone punch me in the arm?
I have a feeling it's going to be like the flu where you get the shot and then you start feeling like you're sick for a little bit, but then you got to get another shot and maybe that second one won't be as bad because you've done it before, but
Okay.
I'm not really sensitive to shots, so I always feel like, yeah, do whatever you got to do.
Hey, as someone who's kind of new to the vaccine game, I'm down for whatever, baby. Whatever kind of shot they give me, I'll take it.
Kevin's never been vaccinated.
No, that's not true. I got my first ones last year.
Wait, really?
So
yeah, did I tell you that?
I think you might have, but it's still shocking to me.
I got my MMR and my flu, I think, last year because you needed them to volunteer at a place I was going to volunteer at. And then today, I got a flu shot again today. And I Instagrammed it and sent it to my mom. It said, "See, I don't have autism." And she didn't take it well. I'm just kidding. I didn't do that. I didn't do that part with my mom. I did get a flu shot today.
So wait, I forgot. Your parents are anti-vax?
Oh yeah, baby.
I think I did know that.
Well, I think we talked about it like 2 years ago.
So what are the vaccines? So you had no vaccines growing up. You were homeschooled, right?
Yeah. So I just got chicken pox.
As an adult, what are the vaccines you can go get that you missed?
Most of the greatest hits, like flu and MMR, and I don't know what the other ones.
Yeah,
are.
I'm trying to remember because
yeah, DVD. You can get a
TLC.
HDVD, STFU shot,
CDC,
LMAFO.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the shots. It's
the LOL.
Yeah,
the LOL.
The raffle shot.
BRB.
Those. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, and you can get all those at the same time.
Because my kids get vaccines, and I feel like there's all sorts of ones where I'm like, I don't recall this being around when I was growing up, but I'm forgetting what they are now.
There's new ones now.
Yeah.
And I'm not, it's not a binary of like, get all the shots or get none of them. It's not get none of them though.
Right.
I will say that. But I don't think it's like get all those. Like, make good choices and get the ones that are necessary.
But there's one that they recommend pregnant women get. It's a booster because it's like you already got it when you were a kid.
Okay.
But they recommend you get it in your 30-something week because it can pass on to the baby. Like the immunity passes to the child. Mm-hmm. And that one really hurt. That one is the one where like your arm is sore for a few days. And I feel like it might be MMR. Did that one hurt your arm?
Yeah, it was sore for like 12 hours. Yeah.
Yes. Anyway, this was an unnecessary diversion. However, I have just mirror everyone. I can't get a good night's sleep unless I pull the covers up to my chin, and I only just realized this in such stark terms. So I had a few nights where I could not sleep well because the covers were like coming up to a few inches below my shoulders. And this is Daniel's fault. I don't know what he and I are, we are and we're not compatible sleepers. He gets in bed. I like my sheets tucked in at the foot of the bed. I even like them tucked in a little bit at the side of the bed. He gets in and like untucks the sheet with his foot and then sleeps on his stomach sometimes and dangles his foot off the bed, just part of his foot. And in doing this, somehow like pins the sheets down, like pulls them down, and I just could not sleep. And so I remade the bed, and then I got in bed and the sheets were like up to my neck and I was so comfy and cozy. And I'm like, oh, this is totally the difference between whether I sleep or not.
Whoa.
Yeah, I feel like I gotta be sealed in when I'm sleeping.
Yes.
I'm a side sleeper, but I'm like, it's gotta come up over my shoulders.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I'll let my head poke out, but I'm just like, anything else, I'm just like, whoa, what's going on?
I almost want it up to my ears. I want to be all nestled in there.
I would probably have it entirely over my head if I didn't think it would suffocate me.
Yeah.
Wait, it wouldn't. I don't think
it would just.
Good
I would
point.
think that it would, or I'd just feel the heat on my face, and I'd be like, no.
I guess so. It is so funny to like know that, because I'm the same way, Demi. I do fall asleep on my side, not on my back. Helpless, Tinder open. So like when I'm on my back in bed, it's like I'm not sleeping, and then to just like shift, I'm just like enjoying time in bed, just thinking or dwelling on something. That's like, all right, engage. And it's just such a weird, and I do it every night instead of just starting out on my side immediately. It's like I need a little preamble to get there.
I do that too, although I can fall asleep on my back. But oftentimes it's like now it's time, and then I go onto my side.
Right.
Tone Zone? Sheets?
I don't really do that with sheets, but I have become, I wasn't always this way, but I'm someone that needs to hug a pillow. If I don't have a pillow there to hug, that I will literally have a hard time sleeping.
Does the pillow have a name, Tony?
No, there's no name.
Can that be a new segment on the show, Allison?
Does the pillow have a name, Tony?
Time to name Tony's pillow.
Oh, yeah.
Is it a he or is it a she? Something like that.
We could do like gender neutral names.
Is it a they or non-binary?
Well, not to try to ruin the fun here, but it doesn't have to be a specific pillow, just a pillow.
A pillow.
Yes.
See, you men are all the same. It doesn't even matter which pillow it is, just as long as you get one.
So then we're looking for something like a hun or a darlin.
Yeah, that'll work. Sure.
Daniel used to sleep with like 7 to 9 pillows. I mean, it was out of control. And then he recently purchased what
he'd do
he
great
was
at the sleepover.
Yeah, he was calling it a body pillow.
There are body pillows. Yeah.
Yes, I know. So I bought into the idea that it's a body pillow, even though it arrived and it looked so much like a pregnancy pillow. And then I saw the like cardboard insert that came with it. And it is a body pillow, but the picture of the woman using it, she's very pregnant. So he now sleeps on, he's got a very particular system. He sets it up every night. He lies. It's like I've described it as like he's on a lily pad. Like he's modular. Like he's just on his little, I feel like we've now entered this point of marriage. I started it by I like a heated blanket and he doesn't. Mm-hmm. So I have a heated blanket just on my side of the bed. And then I feel like he's like, I see your heated blanket and I raise it to my lily pad. So we're like in two different sleep worlds. It's okay though. He sleeps well. Sometimes he wears a sleep mask as well. I have taken a picture of him on his lily pad with his sleep mask. I haven't done anything with it yet.
Put it on the Patreon.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I should.
Card. Wait, are we all sending out Christmas cards this year?
I think you have to.
No. I don't know. We've been
Holiday
meaning to for the
cards,
last many years, and we haven't. Maybe we should this year.
I got an idea for mine, but it's a little secret. It's so lame. What am I worried about? But it'd be cool if I can do it. We'll see.
Well, I'm excited to see it
We'll
if it happens. All right,
On my Patreon.
Tone Zone. Do you have a JMO?
Sure. A very minor one. Very dumb, but I don't know why I do this, but whenever I'm having my photo taken, I will hold my breath.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah, I used to do that. I think.
Really?
I think if you smile in a specific way, you have to almost to keep it there. Because if you're exhaling, they'll go like
Yeah.
your cheeks
I
will
don't
go
know.
out maybe a little bit.
I wonder if I do that too.
No, I'm breathing. That's a shift I've made in the last few years. I breathe heavily during photos. So even if everyone else is silent, I'm going like Tony Soprano style and up in everyone's ears.
You guys, this was so much fun. Now, normally I would now read, you know what? I'm going to read one that people sent in because I want to encourage everyone to be sending in their JMOs. Tweet them to @ARIYNBF on Twitter. Let's see here. Okay, here's one that is 2020 related. Angela says, when an establishment goes out of business in my neighborhood, I feel personally responsible for not having gone there enough to keep them afloat.
And you are.
I don't feel that though.
I don't know of any businesses that have gone under in my neighborhood that I even used. So I'm just sort of like, oh, I don't know.
Because you didn't use them.
Yeah, because I didn't use them. But then also, like, during the pandemic, I do feel like it's like, well, we can't do anything about that. So, oh no.
About businesses going under?
Well, yeah, where it's like the satellite, where it's like, well, what can we do to keep the satellite alive?
Yes. I guess you can do takeout, but like for restaurants, but then yes, other kinds of business. I know, satellite's such a bummer. Good grief.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you're right.
Tony, do you feel this sense of responsibility?
I can't say that I ever have. No. I'll get a little bummed for the people, especially if it was a
with
place that I did
conscience.
like, but I can't say that I've ever held myself responsible.
Yeah. Okay, sociopath.
Thanks.
Wow.
Somebody walks by, it's like, wasn't me.
You ever just see a man on Zoom
Yes.
with nothing in his eyes?
It is a really tough time. It's about to be a really tough time again for businesses in California, at least. But then I'll just get political for 1 second. I believe the answer is to give people and subsidize heavily, give people
Stimulus checks.
stimulus. I was like, what's the word for those? Yeah. Like we need to be staying home, give people the money to make it possible to do that.
You guys aren't still living off that $1,200?
It's so funny. It is so funny. No, it's awful, but it is so funny how simple the solution is.
Yeah.
And no one is willing to, like a child could come up with that. Like none of us are experts or economic, whatever, but like a child could tell you that this is the answer.
And it's
like,
happening everywhere in the world except here. And we're just sort of like, we're all out of ideas. It's like, no, we know what we have to do. And they're just sort of like, if we could just think of anything. It's like, they just refuse. They just won't do it.
What's Australia get? Like $7,000 a month? It's like it's a wild thing. Like,
And
Germany gets a shit ton. They get like $2,000 a month.
The thing that sucks about it is it's the same reason that like so many businesses or like so many like companies were stressing going work from home, where it's like, oh, now they know that this is possible. People won't be able to they won't be able to demand more of people. And now I think the government's just sort of like, well, if we pay for people, then they'll know that we can pay for people. And it's like, you should have been doing this.
It's precedent.
Yeah.
It's like that at any company where it's like you don't pay the woman as much as the man because you don't want to set a precedent that then you can't afford when you make new hires. Oh, sucks so bad.
Everyone sucks.
Well,
Have
thanks
a
for bumming
wonderful-
us out.
We didn't really do much Thanksgiving talk aside from Christoph and Bruce. Let's just quickly, then we're going to end the show. Quickly go around and say sincerely one thing you're thankful for. I am thankful for you guys. I'm thankful for my listeners. I'm thankful for my Patreon subscribers. You guys are the best. Thank you. Demi, what about you?
I'm thankful that I get to make money doing the things that I like to do.
Lovely. Kevin?
I'm thankful that I have the friends that I have that feel like a family.
Thank you. I take that personally since I'm coming to your slumber party.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sure. Whatever.
Tony?
I'm thankful that I have transitioned into a career as in podcasting because I can't do a whole lot of music stuff these days. So yeah, I'm very grateful that I'm working in podcasting these days.
These are all wonderful.
We love this.
Listeners, you guys are the best. Thank you so much. I hope you have a safe and delicious Thanksgiving. What else do I need to say? You're the best. Oh no, I'm getting the stretch. Oh no, I got to stretch.
We need 20 more minutes of thanks.
Listen, Patreon. Listen, if you like what you're hearing, subscribe, tell your friends, 5 stars, leave a nice, you guys, the reviews are getting a little samey. I need some fresh new reviews.
Mix it up.
Be specific and original about the things you love about me that you're not getting compensated for writing.
They get compensation in the heart.
Okay.
No, I don't mean samey like it's the same stuff all the time. I mean samey like I go there and I'm like, oh, it's the same one I saw last time I was here.
Oh, I see.
I just mean like we need some fresh reviews. It helps keep the show in the charts. So go, if you haven't done it and you like what you're hearing, do it. If you don't like what you're hearing, you can also do it. I don't know how that affects things. I do read them on the show. Oh, listen to my other podcast, Childish. Demi, where do we find you?
I'm at Twitter and Instagram at ElectroLemon. And check out the Amber Ruffin Show.
Yes, check it out. Kevin?
I'm on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook and Zanga and Tumblr and LiveJournal and Letterboxd at Kevin T. Porter.
Blogspot.
And Blogspot, excuse me, yes. And WordPress.
Kevin T. Porter. And Tony.
I'm at Tony Thaxton, Twitter and Instagram. My podcast, Bizarre Albums. This week is a weird Neil Young album called Trans. That's why I'm so familiar with Neil Young's speaking voice was ready to go.
I did it. Wait, is that the one Neil Young did as like an FU to the label?
Somewhat. There's more to it than that, but yeah, kind of. Yeah, it's all like vocoder vocals and everything.
Awesome.
It doesn't sound like a Neil Young record at all.
Good job, Neil.
Oh, and I forgot to mention my Monday show with Tim Heidecker. I'm calling it the definitive Tim Heidecker interview. I don't know if there's one that's more definitive, but I've decided mine is it. YouTube.com/Alison Rosen. Go there. You can watch it or just listen to it wherever you listen. You guys, thank you so much. Listeners, thank you for listening. I love you. You matter. Goodbye.
Hey, do you know about the Alison Rosen Show? We had a good time, but now we gotta go. Yeah, Alison Rosen is your new best friend.